What's up, guys? We missed you. I'm sorry for my bad lines of communication, but Snaps is back. Quinn Cobbins says, I forgot this show existed. Nice, Bowman there. Holy shit, Snaps back. Yeah, okay, so we've done one show over the last 2 weeks, right? And that's on me.
It's on both of us. Right? It's on both. Don't be selfish and take all the blame. It's
just that last week was on me because I knew I had spring break. We could have messaged ahead of time. We would be off for a week. But I did not. I forgot to. Went to California. Quite a good time watching the family. Went and saw Dead and Company Thursday night at the Sphere. And let me tell you.
I heard amazing things about the Sphere.
Yeah, Sphere is incredible. It's actually it's funny. It's my third Dead show now at the Sphere. I went twice last year with this crew. But this time was the best. Last year we fucked up the amount of tickets and I had to sit alone both shows, which I'm fine with. But going deep on psychedelics solo, not as fun as going deep on psychedelics with your boys. But yeah, this year, I mean, we really tested the limits and it was a deeply spiritual experience. At one point in the second half of the show, I was just sitting there licking the air like a snake, just tonguing the air, sensory overload. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life.
I gotta find a concert for me and the wife there.
Yeah, you do. It is again.
Backstreet Boys, July 11th. Holy shnikes!
Pretty sick, dude.
Backstreet Boys on the 11th of July.
Yeah, what was it? the Sphere itself in design is pretty otherworldly. Mm-hmm. Because here it sits in the middle of the desert and it's the spherical object, which nothing it's a spherical object just rising out of the sand and it starts to curl. So it almost looks like it's buried in the ground. Inside, all of the shape language is very bendy and circular to kind of evoke this sort of sci-fi sort of feeling. But the thing is, it's not gimmicky. The actual audio quality is amazing.
Nice.
It's amazing. Down to seats that kind of have bass built into them. So you get it's sick, man. It's sick. It's awesome. Anyway, you want whatever I was on Bone Molinary, then you want a quarter of mushrooms. That's what you want.
Okay.
Yeah. And at 2 a.m. that was Thursday night. Friday.
Was the Met show there with you?
What?
Yeah.
Me and Matt room together. He's now a head coach up in Nashville.
I was covering his father-in-law in a UFL game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and then he's done though.
Now he's done. Yeah. No mas. I said, what's it like? What's it like with your son-in-law being at the Met show? He's like, it's exactly as you would think it would be. I'm like, okay.
Matt's the man. I just always feel self-conscious when I hang out with Matt because he dresses so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And he's got this badass mustache. Look at this right here.
His wife's a designer. So, I mean,
and his wife dresses cool. And they've both got super badass tattoos and shit. But look at this header. Look, there's Matt right there in the middle.
So his wife was at our game in the UFL. And I'm working the sidelines with Eric McLean. And he's like, this was pregame. We're just hanging out. He goes, do you think this chick knows that she's at a UFL game right now? Because she's dressed to I'm like, that's his daughter. That's Met's wife. And she's this designer model, whatever. So of the 500 people there, I mean, her clothes might have been more expensive than everyone else there, combined.
Yeah. She does not mess around. My wife showed me videos of her on Instagram, what she picks up the kids in and stuff. But it was awesome. Dead and Company's awesome. I'm very grateful. The funniest thing was though, 2 a.m. So I flew in Thursday and I'm flying out Friday morning. I got to get back to LA because I got to drive to Costa Mesa to go to the Jim Rome studio to meet Rome for the first time, who I've been working with, do the show there in studio. And at like 2 a.m., my vision is still blurry and wonky. I can't keep anything straight in my head. And I'm sitting there trying to like pack, I'm throwing out clothes. It was quite the experience, but we got it done. Made it to the studio on time. That went great. Shout out Romy. It was a really good weekend. It was a really good time, really good week. A really good week, Had a fun Easter as well. Happy birthday, my daughter Odette. Her birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
The only thing is, I feel pretty unhealthy here, and I feel like I've gotten drunk like 7 or 8 days in a row. Yeah, a little bit.
The thought of getting drunk right now, as we near the end of this marathon training, sounds. I had to run 20 miles on Thursday.
So as I was
20
eating
miles
of mushrooms
40
and enjoying
miles
myself,
this week. 40,
you were
20 miles.
running 20 miles in a single run.
No. This Thursday in 2 days.
Oh, you have to. You haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it yet. 40 miles total this week.
How
as you are.
What's the longest run you've done to this point?
16 last week.
How accomplished did you feel after 16?
Good. I felt good.
That's insane.
Damn good.
So 20, and then when is 26 coming? When's the big boy?
June 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, we're close.
Crazy. So y'all have been drinking at all during this training?
I would say the most we've had is maybe like 2 glasses of wine at a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive. But that's why you two are now professional models. Look at that. Fireball. Don't be a pussy. I've drunk every day for 13 years. Hell yeah. Well, and I'm sure that Nico has driven you to drink more. And we're going to talk a lot of Nico on the show today. We're going to talk Carson Beck. We're going to talk Lee Corso, maybe some transfers. And I've got a Coach O video of Coach O speaking Cajun French, which is going to be great education for all of you who are wondering what Cajun French actually sounds like. Quinn Kaufman says, I love how people make marathons their whole personality. Start a combo like I've run a marathon before. The thing is, Quinn, if I had run a marathon, I would absolutely do the same thing. I think there are a few things that are a greater human accomplishment in the physical realm than running a marathon. Now, I know for a fact I have no desire. I don't have the will to train for it, but
you know Peloton, right? Do you know Beck's on Peloton?
Yeah.
So my wife told me
Beck's Gentry.
She's running. It's something magnificent 7. I don't know, whatever. 7 marathons in 7 days in 7 different continents, all 7 continents.
Oh my God, dude. That's incredible. That is incredible. And I don't want to be Tommy Topper guy, but have you heard about the guy who did I believe it was 50 ultra marathons in 50 states in 50 days? Let me look this up and make sure I'm not making this up.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, 2008 documentary, Ultra Marathon Man, 50 marathons, 50 states, 50 days.
So it was an ultra marathon. It was just
No, not an ultra marathon. Sorry. But 50 marathons, 50 states, 50 days. Dean Karnazes. I specifically remember him on an old show that might have been on, I can't remember what channel it was on, but it was called Stan Lee's Superhumans. And they studied this guy and his body. You'll appreciate this, Aaron. His body had the ability to lower his lactic acid. His lactic acid would build to a point, and then like a superhero, he could lower it down. So in theory, he could just run forever. It says he ran 350 miles without sleep in 80 hours and 44 minutes in 2005. So he literally can just run forever until his body has to sleep or something.
I do agree with Locke here. A funny thing is to consider what you could accomplish, what you could get done if you put as much time into it as you put into a marathon. My golf game has gone to shit this offseason. I
Good.
played golf on Friday with my dad.
Good.
First full round of the year. I lost at least a dozen golf balls.
I mean, but like, what has more value? Because someone's like, "Oh, well, you're just running," but like, no, you're so healthy. Your confidence, your health benefits, how great you and Sharon look. Like, you're not just running. It has a way bigger impact on your life than golf. It's not even close. What I mean, what does golf serve? Just pride, ego?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Confidence, money.
Not as much. No, you're not making money playing golf.
Oh, I was making money playing golf.
Not as much as you're going to make marathon running and becoming a model. You know? Confidence. You're telling me that being able to shoot, 5 over gives you more confidence than being able to run a marathon?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds crazy to me. Yeah, you're a bitch if you don't reference you running a marathon on a broadcast this fall as well. Like, you better do that. How'd the UFL games go, by the way?
God, that zone running scheme right now is as difficult as my under 4-hour marathon I ran this summer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe we might need to workshop it a little bit, but yes, something in that neighborhood.
It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. And I had a good game that went down to the wire. So fingers crossed having another good game this week. I got the two top teams in the UFL this weekend. So
question for the chat. When somebody says, "I'm not gonna lie," are they lying? It's tough. That's kind of always a bit of a red flag, in my opinion.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love the access, and I really enjoy so all 4 of our mics were open. So it was essentially a 4-man booth.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was fun.
And you were on the sideline for it.
And I was on the sideline. So
and you've kind of been training in how you covered
the game.
And how you covered spring games for the last few years.
Yeah.
You kind of had some pre-training for this role anyway.
Yes. So it was fun. I love when I did the spring games when I was on the field because you feel the action, you see it differently.
Yeah.
So then doing this again and not just being a sideline reporter, but actually someone that I could talk whenever I wanted to was awesome. Okay.
So you're working a game this week in top 2 teams. Which teams are they?
DC and Arlington.
Oh, man,
Arlington.
You weren't going to know. Okay. So what is it? The Renegades and the Defenders? I thought I was about to catch you. Nope. Our guy's prepared. Good shit.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily prepared yet, but I do know who I'm covering.
All right. Well, let's go ahead then. Preamble done. Just glad to be back here on Snaps. Let's go ahead and dive in. And it's so funny because the story of the day is a story that I feel like I've touched on my other platforms a ton and been updating almost daily. But because we haven't done this show, we almost haven't touched on it at all. Like the last time when we did a show on Wednesday, Aaron, wasn't it the next day when the Nico story started?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I think the next day was when the reports came out that he was seeking more money. Then you had because that would have been Thursday. Then you had the Friday holdout. Mm-hmm. Then by Monday, there's a wrap. Yep. Nico was gone. No one's bigger than the power T. And I think that was the correct decision by Tennessee. I mean, look, obviously it was the correct decision, right? And Nico overplayed his hand because look what has happened since. Okay. I'm guessing. Okay. Sorry. This is why I'm kind of being a bit bumbly in my delivery of here. Mm-hmm. How much do you think we need to recap what has happened up to this point? Like, do we need to quickly summarize what happened?
I don't think we need to summarize. I think people know Nico overplayed his hand. Tennessee said no. Mm-hmm. Nico went to the open market, found out that he's not worth $2 million based on his performance that he had last year, which we all knew.
Yeah.
And then had to settle from going from playing in the SEC in front of 100,000 fans to now going in front of and playing at UCLA, which will get about 5,000 fans per game and not getting that $2 million still.
And
learning a new offense and having to build those relationships and everything that goes on top of it and not playing in the offense at Tennessee, which if you look at Heupel's numbers is one of the most quarterback friendly, successful offenses in college football.
Well, not only that, I mean, you can speak to this more than I can, Aaron. you had an incredible rushing attack and an incredible defense.
Yeah.
Like, are those not the two best security blankets that a quarterback can have? Like, granted, sure, the one because Nico's team has thrown a lot of excuses out there, right?
Yes.
Saying we wanted them to invest in receiver, they didn't do it. It's the system, it's this, it's that. That has all been met with, and I'm not saying this, Pete Thamel and them are saying this. That's all been met with eye rolling from everybody, saying it's all bullshit. And we can see from putting together the puzzle that it is bullshit. But the one thing that would maybe ring a little true is like the receivers last year were just kind of okay. They weren't what they were in the past. But
they invested in them though. Like they were projected to be good. They under delivered. I said that. But so did Nico. Like, it goes in there. Like the amount of times I love all the social media videos that have been posted out there about this guy wants $4 million as he's overthrowing wide open receivers by 5 yards. Yeah. It goes both ways. Like, hey, you throw the ball a little bit better, those guys would have made plays. And the receivers had to be better too in certain situations. Like I've documented enough on the show how, in my opinion, it wasn't just a Nico issue last year. It was, the receivers did not perform the way that I think Tennessee fans were hoping they would, not performing the way I thought they would perform as well. So they needed to get better there, but Nico needed to be better as well. But to sit back and say, once again, this wasn't the first portal opening, and I hope his camp knew that he couldn't go to an SEC school, that the choices were going to be more limited.
Well, no, his camp definitely knew what they were doing here, because the whole reason why they waited is because they thought they could power play Tennessee, because they didn't want him to play this card and then be like, okay, well, we'll go pay Jackson Arnold, or we'll go pay fucking John Mateer.
Oh, I get that. But then once it wasn't playing out, why continue down this path? Like was the end goal knowing that you were going to go to UCLA and that's what you wanted? Like where? Else
they would probably they would try to feed you some bullshit about how yes, that's the case. Obviously, we don't believe that, because really the one thing they could say is that it's home.
Yeah, you want to be closer to home.
That makes more sense. But again,
when it comes to maximizing dollar this year and in the future, Tennessee was the perfect place, and Tennessee was always the perfect place.
Well, and not that anybody, player agents, ever necessarily going to take this into account. Not that you should, because I have no problem if somebody wants to maximize their dollar. Though, again, you have to accept the consequences that come from it, right? Like, I understand wanting to get your money, but you will be judged in the social, in the social courtroom, and people saw this and said, well, we think that's bullshit, but whatever. I guess the point is, oh, maybe I forgot the point. Wait, it was about maximizing his money. Oh, not that players should ever take this into account, but like also Tennessee paid Nico when he wasn't playing. They way overpaid him to develop. And
$2 million to sit the bench.
He felt underpaid, which we now know is, actually not true, but even feeling underpaid, it would have been smart for his team to maybe have that recognition of, okay, well, we feel like we should be making $3 million this year, but we made $2 million when we were doing nothing, right? And that, okay, that kind of evens out. We're okay. We're happy, blah, blah, blah. It is and what sucks is the more reporting that's coming out, apparently Nico himself did not have much to do with this. It is being reported. It is being reported that he was well liked in the Tennessee locker room, that him and Heupel had a great relationship. He was viewed as a good leader, but it was Team Nico that was the driving force behind it all. And now you have made him the villain of college football. Like, if you are any of the college football fans out there who hate what the sport is becoming, Nico is now the face of it, and it's almost not even because of his
Well, guess what? Good thing for fans out there, you're not going to have to have the ability to watch Nico because he's at UCLA now. So I think this may be, another few weeks of talking about Nico, but how many times are we going to unfortunately talk about this young man next year? And I am still in the camp. And I know, going back to what I said a few minutes ago, that last year there was a lot left on the table for him. And I know there's people that are in the camp of he's overrated and good riddance. He wasn't even that good. He was not a 5-star. He wasn't even worth the $2 million or 2.5 Tennessee was paying. Whatever your narrative is, he is still a very gifted quarterback that has all the intangibles to being great. Size, arm ability, athleticism, was going to be in the perfect offense. he checks off a lot of boxes. Like when we talk about quarterbacks getting ready for the NFL draft, what I always say, like, do you have those superpowers that I'm going to take a risk on you in the first round? Jalen Milroe, for example, I've said this before, I'm going to take a risk on him because he's still the most athletic player on the field and can throw the ball far. Let's take a risk on him. Nico, 6'5", great arm, athletic. Scouts are going to, he's a first round talent. That is still a first round talented quarterback. So I am saddened for him if he truly was mostly left out of the conversation, because even though he is a first round talent, and even if he has a decent year, he's still going to be a projected top 2 round guy. I think a year or two in Tennessee with Heupel, with or without elite receivers, could have still been a Heisman caliber type season if he would have been able to develop from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Maybe the expectations were too high in year 1, but objectively, he didn't do much. I mean, 19 touchdowns, the vast majority of which, I think 11 came in like non-SEC games. And then he threw 4 touchdowns against Vandy. So he almost threw, I think he threw less than a touchdown per game. If you look at the other 7 SEC games, which, again, not going to get you paid. Beast Moose says Tennessee's offense is translated to the NFL, I heard. Well, the problem with that is look at all the Tennessee quarterbacks that have made the NFL that would not have made it otherwise, potentially. So I don't like.
I mean, Hendon's in there, but Hendon really hasn't played. I mean, Joe Milton made some waves last year with his play.
No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, no, it's not a NFL offense, but Heupel's putting quarterbacks into the NFL.
Yeah.
And so, okay, last thing on Nico, they'll move on to Aguilar. Here's a guy who, when you look at this decision, it is one of the most monumentally bad decisions in that everything is a downgrade. Yeah. It's less money. It's higher taxes. It's a much worse program with a much, much, much less passionate fan base. It's a much worse head coach, when you look at Sean Foster and Heupel, and offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name, but UCLA's OC has never called plays. Now, he has an exciting resume. He does. Like, he might be an interesting guy, a riser, but he is still very inexperienced comparing to that of Josh Heupel.
Siri.
Where'd he come from?
Indiana. Co-OC.
Okay, yes. So there you go. So, okay. So, like, again, kind of exciting, but he's never called plays before. And at Tennessee, and this is what I originally wanted to ask you about, Aaron, how comforting is it as a quarterback to have an elite defense and an elite running game to help you out and take pressure off? You don't have to outscore the opponent. You don't have to make the big throw every play.
Oh, 100%. I mean, last year was a perfect year for him to have just that average year. Just kind of, and you talk about the touchdowns too. Let's not forget, he had the best running back in the SEC and one of the best in the country. Like, they're going to have a lot of rushing touchdowns. So like that helped kind of skew the stats a little bit, even though there was definitely some moments Tennessee's offense, especially middle part of the season, where you look up and they're not scoring points in the first half. You're just kind of scratching your head a little bit. But I would say the bigger concern for me is this. You go to a place that is not going to have the same kind of talent that you're used to with a new play caller, trying to get used to each other like that. But you talk about the bond between him and Heupel. The bond between quarterback and OC is at a different level. You have to be the extension of him on the field. You don't have spring. You're going to have summer and fall camp to build a relationship with an OC, to build a relationship with the skill players around you, to learn the playbook, and then go out there and try to have success as you try to have this monster third year to get ready for the NFL draft. That's NFL players have a difficult time doing that. So that to me is the biggest L of the whole thing for him. Having to adapt and learn in 3 months, 4 months?
Again, throw it on the pile. Throw it on the pile. It is a mind-bogglingly bad misplay by Nico's camp. You have downgraded. And did we mention, I think I mentioned this, but the team success? You're leaving a playoff team to a team that was nearly dead last in everything offensively in the Big Ten last year. I think they were a little below middle of the pack passing wise, but like scoring. So it's, again, monumentally bad. And now, in a wonderful twist, to put a bow on this story, we learned today that Joey Aguilar, who had originally transferred from App State to UCLA, is now transferring to Tennessee. So we have one of our first ever quarterback trades here. A little QB swap as Iamaleava goes to UCLA and Aguilar goes to Tennessee. Go ahead, Eric.
Do you like? I had this guy last week or week before tweeting at me about this situation or college football where we are nowadays, and he's like, "I stopped watching snaps because you're so anti-college football and you want to turn to the NFL." I'm like, the NFL model is great. I've talked about it. I mean, Dion just came out talking about how college football should move more towards the NFL and some of the things that they do. So, like,
well, did you see what else Dion claimed? Hold on. Now we have to dive into this. Sorry, go ahead. Finish this point, and then we'll get into that.
But anyways, to bring it all around.
Yeah.
I don't mind the trades. Let's make trades happen.
Well, look, they need to be employees, whatever.
They do need to be employees. That's the biggest thing.
And we've said, like, I almost roll my eyes saying that because we've been saying it for years. So whatever, we'll see if it ever happens or when it happens. But did you see what else Dion claimed?
No.
Dion claimed on his talk show that he has never once in his life masturbated. A single time. And he said, look, I don't want to brag, but I didn't have to. And here's what's crazy, Aaron.
How did that get brought up?
They asked the women on the show, asked Dion something about, like, what do you think about or something when you pleasure yourself? And he said he never has.
What?
Not once. Yeah.
Dion
somehow has time to do a talk show on this. I don't know how. It's called, like, I've Got Time or something. But yeah, so the craziest part is, though, I think I kind of believe Dion, dude.
He does masturbate?
As a guy that takes a ton of pride in not jerking off, right? Mm. And the only way he comes is when a female is making him come.
Not even like you're like a teenage boy.
He says no. Mm. He says no. I know a lot of people say it's a lie. A lot of people say it's a lie. I don't.
I can say, like, I'm sure for like high school era and on, Dion could get whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need to, but I mean, there's always that, you're a boy in the room for the first time, and you see that magazine, and
True. That's hard to believe. You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
He didn't live in the cell phone era where he could just, like, pick up the phone and, hey, baby, come over here. It
did make me realize something.
You jerk off too much?
No, it's healthy to come at least once a day. I actually ended up, no, fuck no, dude. No, that was not all where I was going with that. I made the joke the other day. I mean, you can call me Malcolm Jackwell. I've got my 10,000 hours. Okay. I run circles around Dion. It might be the only thing I'm, like, way better than Dion about or at, but it did make me realize why Dion makes such rash decisions, like deciding to retire Shadir's jersey like a week after he gets done playing. And it's because he never has post-nut clarity. He's always just walking around full of cum, horned up. He's just fucking horned up. He's got cloudy full
It's not that he's not nutting. He's just not doing it to himself. Who knows that? I mean, He's not
nutting every day. He's not married. He thinks
which maybe gives him more access because the wife ain't tired of
over
it.
There every day. The bottom line, if you don't jerk off, you don't have as much post. I don't care. He's not spending a lot of time in a post-nut clarity zone. He's walking around muddled and horny, making rash decisions like, let's retire Shadir's jersey. Like, no, it's crazy. Which, by the way, that's crazy. If you want to try yes.
You're retired? Absurd.
Yes. Absurd. And if you want to retire Travis Hunter jersey, absolutely. But you still got to wait. You got to wait. There's no greater honor in sports than the jersey retirement.
Yeah.
And generally, you have to wait 10.
Well, maybe the statue, which I'm sure Travis will get one.
Okay, that's fair. Statue goes above.
Statue's pretty awesome.
I guess my point is a jersey retirement is even above Hall of Fame. And you're giving it to them like a month after they get done. No, think about it. there's nobody in the Hall of Fame. Okay, sorry. Nobody with their jersey retired is not in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of Hall of Famers that don't have their jerseys retired. Like
True.
there is no greater honor than getting your jersey retired. And this man's doing it like a month after they got done playing. That's crazy. I mean, shit, somebody mentioned Eric Bieniemy getting fired. Did you know that Eric Bieniemy's Colorado's all-time single yardage or single season like yardage record, and they won the fucking national championship while he was doing it? They made Rashawn Salam wait 20 years till after he died. You got Cordell Stewart. Oh, I can't remember his name. You got the quarterback from the Natty team as well. Like it's wild.
Yeah. Shit, Stetson Bennett won too. They still haven't retired his jersey.
Shit, Braden Fajoko tweeted, I played with Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and neither one has their jersey retired yet.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing? Dude?
Yeah, but like Patrick didn't really have the college career necessarily to get a jersey retired, though.
Bro, if you're shut the fuck up, if you're Texas Tech, you retire Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
You know, I know your point stands. Like your point is correct.
Purely on college wins and performance, Patrick does not deserve to get a.
But Patrick is so transcendent. You want to tie him to your school in every way that you can.
I guess the timing is Colorado is not used to being in this position. They're just trying to maximize and squeeze as much juice as they can from it. So,
no, I just think that Dion just wanted to retire his son's jersey.
I heard it wasn't Dion who brought it up, though. I heard it was the president in front office that brought it up.
Well, that's just awful then. I just figured this was Dion going to them and then being like, well, look, man, you've made us hundreds of millions of dollars, so we'll actually acquiesce, which I understand. Like, I understand not pushing back too hard. But if they came to him with that idea legitimately, that's an administrative misstep.
I'm pretty sure they came to him with that.
Well, I don't know if my instincts tell me I view that story.
I think I heard it from Klatt, who's also a Colorado grad.
Oh, he would know, but also he could be used as a mouthpiece in that regard. They want to take a little heat off of Dion. They see the story here. I'm approaching that with a little bit of skepticism. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so let's get back to Tennessee. Joey Aguilar. Coming over now. The original quarterback went to UCLA is now going to Tennessee. And I'm going to say something here that I almost know you're going to disagree with. So react to it and you can tell me I'm right or wrong.
Uh-oh.
I think Tennessee just got better at the quarterback position.
Have you watched this tape?
No, not even a single second.
Okay.
In fact, all I've done is read about Joey Aguilar for about 10 minutes this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Have you watched Aguilar tape?
I have watched Aguilar tape. I watched it this morning. Not an upgrade. Not an upgrade. It's the same situation.
The numbers are.
It's the same situation we just talked about with Nico in the sense of learning a new system, adapting to a new locker room, building a relationship with Heupel to go out there and play at a high level. It doesn't happen overnight. So you're battling that. Then you're not even as nearly as talented, just pure throwing the football wise as Nico. You're not as athletic as Nico. No, this is not an upgrade. By any means is this an upgrade. Tennessee, from the very beginning, the big thing was like, good for Heupel. Tennessee's a winner in this one. No, you're not, Tennessee. You're a loser just like Nico's a loser.
No, I mean, I think, well.
Tennessee's in the shitter heading into next season.
No. Tennessee's a loser in that the ceiling and floor have both dropped on next year, but they're still a long-term winner here. Acquiescing to Nico's demands was the greater evil in this situation, and letting him control the locker room, like a stand had to be made. Beast Move TBob was so confident with no film watch. No, I mean, look again, but here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. Okay. 6'3", 210. Love the size. But really the deal is
6'5", 6'6", 210.
Yeah, but he's like 180. He looks 180. But no, in all reality, it's just that you're getting a guy with more experience he's in 2023, he had a crazy good year.
Yeah.
That's what it is. In 2023,
I hate the people in the chat saying like, oh, I bet you he'll have a better year this year than Nico. I was betting on Nico year 2 having that development and that maturity to go from 19 touchdowns to like high 20 touchdowns.
32. Yeah.
It's like, we're not like, will he have a better year than Nico this year? Probably, because he's in a better offense with a better weapons on a better football team. Doesn't mean he's the better quarterback, and doesn't mean that Nico in year 2 wouldn't have gone off and doubled his touchdowns possibly, or gone to that.
He's got way better Heisman odds now too.
As he should.
Joey Aguilar's
There's no chance
plus
that UCLA quarterback's going to win a
4,500.
Heisman. There's no chance.
Joey Aguilar's plus 4,500. Nico's now plus 8,000. Okay, but you did say something interesting. You talk about his numbers being better, and here's the thing: is Aguilar in 23 had elite numbers, 64% completion, 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 picks, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Team went 9-5, lost in the Sun Belt Championship, but won a bowl game. Here's the massive red flag. You go from that year to then 56% completion, so a near 7-point drop off there, from 3,700 yards to barely over 3,000, 3,003. You go from 33 touchdowns to 23 touchdowns, 10 picks to 14 picks, and you run for us. So what happened? What went so wrong from one year to the next? But also, like, literally every stat went the wrong way. Oh, and the team went 5-6 and didn't make a bowl game.
Right.
So completion percentage way down, yards way down, touchdowns way down, picks up, team worse. Ton of potential 23, very sexy. It fell apart in 24.
What did the team around him look like? Was there a receiver?
I mean,
that
I'm sure they had to lose a bunch of guys, right? I mean,
yeah,
you would have to imagine. Also, did they lose their OC maybe from 23 to 24? I'm not sure.
Possibly.
He also played 2 years at Diablo Valley Community College. Couldn't really find anything about that. The only interesting thing to note there is, does that mean, depending on the Diego Pavia ruling, which right now is
more years,
like, does he potentially have 3 years left at Tennessee if he wants it? We'll see.
The year before, the running game was significantly better.
So, well, okay, so that's a good sign for Tennessee fans.
Yeah,
because you're going to be able to run the ball.
Both years he had Robinson as his star receiver, so I think a little bit had to do with him.
Now, I think what's important to point out for Joey Aguilar is an article. Here's the headline that Ari Wasserman wrote today. Quote, Joey Aguilar's walking into a dream scenario at Tennessee with a chance to be a legend. And Ari really captures everything that's in play here. Joey could be, I mean, Aaron, here's the point. He has the chance to be immortal, a literal immortal. Tennessee fans are angry and they want to fall in love, and they're going to give you all the resources to do so.
Yep.
And now it's literally the inverse of the Nico situation. We talk about everything where Nico got worse. Aguilar's making more money, much better team, literal playoff contending team.
Have you seen their schedule too? Their schedule,
much more passionate fan base, friendly schedule, much better OC and head coach, much better surrounding talent. Like it is the inverse of everything Nico. And Tennessee, apparently they're paying Aguilar like $1 million less than they paid Nico. So they now have an additional $1 million to spend in the portal if they want.
I didn't realize Tennessee's schedule as I want to pull it up real quick, is to the point where he doesn't need to be a superhero for them to make it even back to the playoffs.
It's how they made the playoffs last year, dude.
Am I showing you? What am I showing?
No, switch over. Oh, wait, shit. Oops, my bad. Here, hold on. I think we're both clicking. Okay, we're both clicking. No, okay, you click it.
I'm clicking it. This is my presentation.
Okay, there you go.
Syracuse, East Tennessee State, Georgia at home, which, I mean, you can lose that game, whatever. UAB, Mississippi State, Arkansas, at Alabama, and then Kentucky, Oklahoma, New Mexico State, Florida.
Very winnable. You can get 10 wins there.
You can get 10 wins there. You can get 10 wins there.
10 wins, you'll make the playoff.
Once again, based on the film that I watched and not knowing what the receiving core is going to look like, or if it's even improved from a year ago, and the running game is not going to be improved from a year ago because how good it was. I still look at Tennessee is a situation where Nico, to me, I feel like, yes, you put Nico on that offense year 2, they're winning 10 games.
Yeah, if
I
Nico's
still
on this
think
team, I
I think losing
Tennessee's
Nico. I think there's a two
playoff team.
game difference without Nico. So I do not have Tennessee winning or making a playoff.
Again, though, my overall point is not to say that Aguilar is going to be great, but if he is, he will be immortal. And again, he's joining a team that made the playoffs last year with a quarterback that barely did anything in conference play. Heupel's what, a top 10 coach? Top 15, definitely. Top 10 coach.
Top 15.
Top 15 coach in the entire country. He's proven to be able to win in multiple different ways. Throwing it deep. I mean, there's always been the running the ball is kind of the base, but last year doing it more conservative, even more run, even more defense. And again, a motivated and bought in fan base. And this is what's interesting. The only reason Tennessee was so committed to Nico, they committed to him out of high school.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like this is like a giant portal quarterback that they fell in love with. So I'm the first to tell you, because I'm the smartest guy in the room, guys. Tennessee got better at quarterback with this.
Let me ask you this. As a fan, though, are you more invigorated or pissed to help out Tennessee going forward as a booster?
Oh, you're invigorated. I guarantee
you.
It's absolutely, because you want to prove them wrong.
You're throwing in more money after wasting what you believe would be $4 million on the quarterback.
Well, no, you're saving $1 million, dude.
Well,
you didn't waste. You made the playoffs with him. Yeah, but you made the playoffs with him. Also, it's like when Bryce Underwood left LSU for Michigan. It actually ended up being the catalyst for massive growth
for football in spring game.
God, it looks good.
Oh my God.
I didn't see the spring game. I saw practice video, and
I saw practice and spring game. Oh man,
he is fucking good.
Yes, he is.
I would have much rather had Bryce Underwood, to be clear, than the increased NIL dollars. But a silver lining to these situations is it does piss people off and spur.
He looked good. He looks good. He looks good. Yeah. Just make him employees. Solves a lot of issues.
But think about it, bro. You now have a lot of vested interests in that not happening. And one of the main camps are lawyers, the very people you will be arguing with to try to make them employees. It's going to be a tough road to hoe. So there it is. We covered the entire Nico Tennessee drama with a masturbatory Dion side rail. Now we got to get to Lee Corso.
Lee Corso. Carson. Let's go Carson.
You want to go Carson next? Okay.
Yeah,
let's go Carson.
I think the situation's fucking wild.
Carson Beck's no good, god awful offseason continues as I guess Kai Trump was at and I don't entirely know who Kai Trump is.
The niece of Donald.
Okay, Donald's niece. Is she going to Miami? It doesn't matter. I don't know. So Kai Trump's at UFC and she's doing a vlog, and she sees the Cavender twins there, and they start talking on camera about Carson. And here's what the twins had to tell Kai. Wait. There we go.
So basically, we were supposed to we go to Nashville, right? He didn't want to come to Nashville. Whole breakout, all this jazz.
Yeah, on his phone like this, Kai, the whole time.
Dude, get off your phone.
But does he have friends?
No. All the nobody likes it. And he would
Oh, such a bad look.
the bar, and I'd be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'd be very embarrassed, and I was like, oh my God, how are you? Anywho, so I broke up with him. And then I broke up with him, and all these cheating shit came out. I had no idea. I didn't break up with him because of cheating. I broke up with him because of who he was.
Shit.
Then I was like,
shit.
Sure. Might as well.
And then I tried to blast it, but I had to do it the most politically way because everyone was that's the video that my friend sent. It was when you touch your son, your sister too much. Yeah.
When you know.
No,
yeah.
You know what I mean? 1,000%.
And then Hannah would be like, Haley, you need to be more friendly. I'm like, what do you mean? Absolutely. And my twins don't get along with this. No, I'm sorry.
Okay. No one has been, and then not only that, But in the whole Lane Kiffin comments too this week. Did you see Lane's comments about Carson? I think you're muted, TBob.
My bad. I've had a little cough going on, so keep me. Okay, so a lot to break down there. Okay, I'll go ahead and search the Lane Kiffin bit as well, because you're right. That's probably worth playing. Also,
I don't know if I saw the audio. I just saw like pitch or just.
Oh well, this is great. This is from the pivot. Here we go.
Coach, as you bring up the NFL structure with college now, because they're on the contract. They're making money. They're making millions of dollars. I think down in Miami, what's Carson Beck?
4.3.
4.3 million. I think my biggest year was 6. He's a college kid. So like you bring up the comparison of what they're doing. They're really getting NFL money.
Miami gave him $4.3 million. That's what the evaluation says. Hey,
did they watch this game against us?
You don't have to be. Lane,
I was trying not to go.
Damn, Lane.
It's crazy, Coach.
By the way, Lane's taking a full page out of the Trump playbook as he's doing the full podcast tour. He's on like Theo Vaughn, the pivot, like he's all over the place right now. Okay, but back to Carson Beck. Now, Andrew Cooper says everybody's got something to say after a breakup. And I would say that is true, except this is all in keeping with a larger body of evidence that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
remember, like I would say this was spurned lover talk, but Kirby Smart during the playoffs last year said the boys play harder for Gunner.
Yeah.
Gunner was asked about, did Carson Beck tell you he was leaving? And he was very smirky about whether or not, basically saying, read between the lines. The guy was out of here. Nobody really cared.
Yeah.
Like, and Aaron,
Well,
what
I
can you
heard
tell
too.
us
I heard
about what
too.
you know about, what you've heard.
Yeah, that there was this lack of being one of the boys in the locker room.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's
Which
a
is a
major problem.
massive quarterback red flag. Quarterback especially. Massive quarterback red flag.
Massive. I mean, you are the go-between between you and the coaching staff. You're the leader. And I'm not saying you got to be the most inspirational, raw, charismatic person in the world, but you have to show the boys that you give a damn about them and who they are and what they're doing. And it seemed like Carson was more concerned about his cars, dating a Cavalier twin, or however pronounced his last name, Cavalier twin, and going to the NFL.
Yeah.
And not being a Georgia Bulldog and being a teammate. This has been
Aaron?
What about the downfall of I said this when the whole car situation happened and then the cheating situation happened with his ex-girlfriend. NFL scouts are watching all of this right now. They don't want that. They know. It's one of the big reasons the red flag for Tennessee's defensive end. They don't want that type of dude, especially at the quarterback position.
Wait, what's going on with Pierce? Why is it a red? What did I miss?
It's
James
more
Pierce?
off the field stuff with him that he just.
Oh, they're saying like he's just not one of the
not a
boys.
hard worker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But for a quarterback, half the NFL, if not more than half the NFL, is like, I don't care how good you are. You're not on my team if you're like that as a quarterback.
You got to be a leader of men.
You do.
And if the boys don't want to show up at your wedding, the boys don't want to. And I know it's funny. I've never seen the movie Draft Day. I've always meant to watch it, ironically, because I've heard it's like really shitty, but really funny in some ways. But I think that's literally Kevin Costner's point in Draft Day.
Yeah.
The guy they're thinking about drafting. Nobody. Have you seen it? I have not.
Yeah. It's like the quarterback, but like no one showed up to his birthday.
Okay. But the movie got that right, because
Yeah.
I would be freaked out as well by that.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. The quarterback's
red
got to
flag.
have boys on the team, dude.
Yes.
I mean, look at Aaron, dude. Aaron's O-linemen fucking love him, right? That's why he's QB1.
For
No
multiple
shot, his
reasons.
receivers, all of them. Exactly. He used to get him laid. It's great. That's what you do for the big guy.
They're right.
Yeah.
Fucking right, baby.
So
Carson.
this has just been a god awful offseason for Carson Beck.
Well, it's been
Everything
god awful
continues to get
the
worse.
season too.
And if he's not that likable to begin with, and now he's hurt and not really involved in spring that much. Like, how can he form the relationships needed to honor, to justify the $4 million price tag that is going to apply pressure to his shoulders?
Without the receiving core, as you brought up, about a month ago, without the receiving core they had a year ago,
everybody's gone. Everybody, they got the guy from LSU. I'm blanking, from Liberty, but still, everybody else is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So
worst
rough
offseason, Nico or Carson?
Still Nico, because Carson at the end of the day got $4 million.
He did get paid.
Now, he probably lost NFL money, but Nico arguably lost NFL money as well, because like he maybe won't be able to showcase his talents like that. Also, California taxes, Florida no state income tax, like, so pretty significant difference there. And for both of them, look, if they go play really well, they can make that NFL money back. Rust Boy, we're going to need you to you need to achieve some post-nut clarity, because Rust Boy's reaction to that video was, oh wait, no, that's not the comment I was looking for. Where was it? Cavender twins get my shit on hard immediately. Come on now, Rust Boy, you got to take a lap. You got to take a. There was nothing that sexual about that video just now. And trust me, like I said, I'm a deeply, deeply horned up person, and that should not be your immediate takeaway from that video. Beastman said they look like meerkats. I don't know. CJ Daniels. Thank you guys. CJ Daniels. That's who I was looking for.
Corso real quick.
Okay, hold on. This is just worth throwing in. Gulf South says Mikey from Dan Levitard vehemently swears Beck is making significantly less than $4 million, and Levitard did Mikey's is
I
close
heard
to
less than $4 million too. I thought it was more around 3.
It probably is more around 3.
Yeah,
it probably is more around 3. That's probably correct, but it still doesn't it changes none of the dynamics that we're talking about here.
No.
And then finally, Lee Corso retiring after week 1 of this next college football season from College Game Day. Massive part of my childhood. I didn't realize he's been doing this now 38 years at this point. Started back in 1987 on College Game Day. And look, I think we all love the vibe of College Game Day. And I don't think that you can overstate how much Corso's attitude, charisma, and his irreverence have led to the vibe of that show, right? Like, in a world now full of like McAfee's and bar stools, like Lee Corso laid a lot of that groundwork, being willing to not be so serious, to push the envelope in the name of fun and entertainment. I'm 1000% going to cry when they do the Lee Corso tribute video. I'm going to go full Rinaldi. Just be balling.
No, and I love the fact that they've lessened his roll up in the past couple of years, but still found a way to keep him involved.
Yes,
but it was time. I think for him, I think for everyone else. Obviously, I think having
guys,
him last
look
year,
at Aaron pushing Lee out the door so that he can get on that panel.
Gee, I ain't getting that thing. It was time though. Let's be honest. It was time.
See, again, I know what you're saying, but I would have but like everybody else, and I think you would agree with this too. I'd let Lee stick around as long as he wants.
Well, I think they did let him stick around as long as he wants. I think this is
I agree.
Decision. So, like, I think ESPN did the right way. Like, Lee, whenever you're ready to step away, you step away. And I think he's kind of seen his role diminish over the past couple of years, and it was time. So good for him.
Great for him.
And a hell of a career.
And so the question is, where will it be? And it has to be Ohio State, right? It's already the best matchup. I mean, maybe LSU, Clemson in a no, it's the best matchup. Texas, Ohio State's the best matchup.
Yes.
It's the best team talent-wise, the best setting. You got Arch Manning, you got Julian Sayin, defending national champs. It's the shoe. Also, how about this fun fact, Aaron? October 5th, 1996. The first day he put on the headgear ever for a pick, where was he? Columbus.
Oh.
And he picked Brutus. I've got some Lee Corso numbers for you. He put on the mascot head 430 times. He went 286 and 144, so a 66 win percentage.
Pretty damn good.
He's done the headgear of 69 different teams, which won't change because he's already done both the schools playing. So nice. He's chosen Ohio State 45 times, which is first. Alabama 38 times, which is second. LSU 25, Florida 22, and Oregon 21. Shout out Lee Corson.
Interesting from Basham. They should retire the headgear.
Like retire the tradition?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they should or shouldn't.
Who would do it? McAfee?
They got to get Saban to do it.
Saban ain't doing that shit.
I mean, he needs to nut the fuck
I don't know
up.
if I want Saban to do it either. That's not him.
What?
That's not him.
Why?
Because it ain't him.
Why?
It ain't him.
He said he's at what I mean, but it could be.
No, it ain't him.
You're right. I mean, I can't see Saban dancing around with a leprechaun
No.
like Lee did, riding the motorcycle with the duck.
So it's got to be
maybe he'll
McAfee.
have to retire it. Yeah, but people are gonna look at McAfee do it and they're gonna roll their eyes probably because they're gonna be like, "You're not Lee." Maybe you do have to retire. I hadn't thought about that. Daniel. Maybe you're right. Like maybe you do have to retire it actually.
Damn.
That
was always like the best part at the end. Like I may miss things here or there, but I was always going to tune in to see the headgear.
I know. How about this? Corso went a perfect 11-0 on his headgear picks in 1999. And then here's a fun fact. There are 3 teams that Corso has picked multiple times and gone undefeated with. 3 times he's chosen North Dakota State. He's 3-0. 4 times he's chosen Virginia Tech 4-0. And this is pretty crazy. He's chosen USC 17 times and been right 17 times.
Damn.
And these are big coin flip games. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So the 66 win percentage is actually really nice, as is the 17-0 USC pick there.
Love it. All right, everyone. Adios.
All right, Aaron, enjoy your meeting. Enjoy the UFL. We'll be back on Thursday with a brand new Snaps. We love you. Later, guys.